Sup, boys and girls? Is there a point to all of this? I think so. The idea is to get everyone into the vibes. Yeah, just like that. Not just you guys, I also need to get into the vibes so I can speak like a girl. Okay, that's a poor joke. Anyway, sup. Let me reduce that. How are you guys? So this is an unexpected recording. I've been sort of going nuts over cryptocurrency. I mean, I did share an episode earlier about why I think people, should look more into cryptocurrency. And like always, like every other event or technology or information, the rabbit hole never just stops. Like any event has n number of perspective. Could be good, bad, ugly. You get the idea. So as I continue to look deeper into bitcoins, I was coming across a lot of interesting things. But there was this specific talk with this guy. I forgot his name again. I'm sorry, I'm bad with names. This guy, he's apparently a well-known hacker, coder, mathematician. He's the dude that you should, call on for cryptocurrency advice. So this guy, who was in Las Vegas when he was interviewed by another YouTube podcaster. I think his channel is called Crowdsource News or something like that. Anyway, I just bumped into this video the other day, and so I heard something for the very first time, and the moment that a thought got articulated in my head, like it rang a lot of bells in my head, like a small mini explosion of ideas. So what this guy said was, Bitcoin might be a platform developed by AI and being used by AI. Now, it already sounds apocalyptic to me. So the reason, like how I was telling you guys earlier, sharing earlier, that valuation, like currency, fiat currency valuation against Bitcoin is just a byproduct of it, and trying to make money is just a byproduct of it. This guy was arguing that Bitcoin and its platform, the Bitcoin blockchain, is just Bitcoin as such is just a byproduct of the Bitcoin blockchain, and the Bitcoin blockchain is being used by some AI, or there is an AI working through it using the blockchain as nodes, and is using it and is gaining more users. The more, when we buy more bitcoins, we are indirectly contributing into the computational power of the blockchain. To process the blockchain, you need more and more intense mining farms, and these mining farms are like massive collection of processing power. Like this particular guy, this coding guy was sharing this view that he thinks it's almost 200-300% more powerful than the power of the 5 or 6 supercomputers that exist in the world today. Like, you combine all these 5-6 supercomputers in the world, and still you wouldn't and still you will have 200-300% more computational power when you combine all the Bitcoin farms in the world. And that absolutely makes sense to me. And when he especially mentioned about blockchain, each block in the chain being a node for the AI, for the machine learning AI. Okay, now if you get into the machine learning process, this would make sense. I will get into the machine learning part maybe in another episode, but what strike me, or what you guys need to know, is like the more data is available to AI, the more perfect it can be, the more powerful it can be, the more things it can perform, the more cognition it has, the more ideas it can generate. And that is exactly what each block in the Bitcoin blockchain is providing to whichever AI it is. And that idea just exploded through my head, and I was like, oh my god, if I was the bad guy, or if I was an AI, I would totally do that, and get humans interested in this whole process, because humans are making money of it, and if they are making money of it, they will buy more computing power, and it absolutely made sense. And this guy goes further into the topic by suggesting that Bitcoin's the code as such. Okay, Bitcoin code again is open source, you can go online and check. And so he was saying, like, some of the world's best mathematicians and hackers and white hacking community has tried their hand on breaking into and looking for a bug in the Bitcoin code, and it was just almost like perfect. He was saying like it was almost perfect, like it was very hard to find. I mean, they couldn't find a bug as of date, and which was leading this guy to believe that it might have been AI that did this. Like he says, and I also feel the same. Like if this Satoshi guy reveals his face, then this whole idea can be put aside. But the problem is, at first it was one guy, then they say this Satoshi thing is a collective of people, and now since there is so many corporates and so many private investors with so much money on Bitcoin, I fear that maybe all this was planned all along the way, and it is very much perceivable that way, and that is the bloody problem with today's world. Like everything in a certain perspective makes sense. So ultimately, like what you feel about something completely depends upon how you choose to perceive it, like how your belief system is built. You know what I mean? Like a guy who walks into a room, if he was a mathematician, he will have mathematical formulas like exploding in his head, formulating the shapes and sizes and all the stuff he sees in a room. Whereas a painter gets into the room, he will be analyzing the room in colors and textures and the way the paint is stroked. You get my ideas. Like it's the same information, but when it goes through your perceptive filters, it breaks down to fit into your belief system. And I'm just using Bitcoin as an example. Like 3-4 days back, I was like, yeah, humanity finally has found a hope, a way to escape this chaotic financial mess using Bitcoins. And 2 days later, I find another information completely contradicting that idea. In fact, suggesting that Bitcoin was part of the singularity idea all throughout, which is bloody scary. I mean, like if there is some AI really out there. Oh my god, wait, let me just get out of this signal. There's this critical junction over here. It's like really messed up. Okay, now that I'm out of there, yeah, so I was saying, so there I come across another idea that completely contradicts what I wish to believe 2-3 days back. And this is, this is what these philosophers or like these ancient people used to refer to as duality. The contradicting nature of truth. Like there is no absolute truth. Like it's always can be boiled down to differences. I don't know if my particular articulation makes any sense as of now, but I hope some of you get the idea. Anyway, for now, let me continue on my weekend leisure trips. Alright guys, enjoy.